ehehe here, and today I'm back with another video in my Wigs 101 series, and today we're talking about heat styling of synthetic wigs. Now, there's as many ways of styling wigs out there as there is cosplayers, so this is just my experiences and the ways that work for me, things I know of, so take it with a grain of salt if you will. That was my dog telling you he agrees. Now, we are talking about heat styling, so it's important to know that synthetic wigs for cosplay, they are made out of plastic. Now, so when you shop for a wig, I recommend that you make sure to look at the listing, whether that's from a official wig seller or if it's AliExpress or eBay or any of these pages. Make sure you look through the listing and see what the seller recommends in terms of the temperature range for your wigs. So this one here, this little beautiful icy lilac moment, this one is from Coscraft, and Coscraft recommends 160 to 180 degrees Celsius for their wigs. Absolute maximum for them are 200 degrees. So that means that if you can work with your wigs under that temperature, in that temperature range, you get to style it. Anything hotter and you risk ruining your wig fibers by melting it and changing the texture. And once you've done that, there's no going back. A melted wig fiber is going to stay like that forever. You could cut it off obviously, but that is going to alter your wig permanently. When it comes to tools to use, I do have 3 different ones in front of me here today that I'm going to talk about. There are obviously more, but I will start by mentioning the honorable guy. This here is a steamer. Steamers can be really good for doing a lot at once, and it's very popular in the drag queen community actually. So steamers can be handy, and also the steam is more likely to be gentle on your wig than a lot of other things, especially at a distance. So if you wanted to have a lot of curls in your wig, for instance, this can be really good to just use after you've pinned up and curled all the hair and then apply steam all over. But a hairdryer will also do that for you. Now, hairdryers are absolutely great. I love hairdryers, especially for applying heat in places it's hard to reach with straighteners. And I do love this attachment here for getting into those hard to reach places. I love using it to get like volume up in the roots. I love using it with a round brush to get like a nice side sweep on your fringe, or like a soft curl without doing the full, like I don't know, the full rounded anime bounce. But as with everything else, be careful of your heat. I don't know if you can see it, but I've actually melted several prongs on this round brush because I have applied too much heat, and it was just good luck that this brush didn't handle as much as my wig did. So keep that in mind, that hair dryers can have a lot of heat too. Mine comes with a lot of different settings, so for me it was just a matter of changing that. But yeah, they are really good, and again, you can use them with curls as well. I also really like these for helping your wig fibers if they're looking a little sad and overbrushed, but that is a different video. Not pictured and in front of me are a couple of other things. So like, I don't personally have crimping thongs yet. That's on my wish list, and it's something I will buy eventually, and maybe that's a different video, me trying crimpers on wigs on live. I don't know, but it's something people are using a lot of these days to create volume in their wigs, especially if they do like really massive volume or like very cartoony style wigs. Great tool, definitely on the wish list. You could also use hot water, so like with a pot or from your kettle, if you have one, to dunk your wig. So whether you want to dunk it with curls or just straighten it by pouring warm water over it, that is also possible. So you don't technically need these tools, but they're gonna make your life easier. So I do recommend investing in at least a hair straightener. These are my cosplay specific hair straighteners. These are just a plain old Babyliss brand one, but you can regulate the temperature. So you could push it higher for wigs that need or can handle more, or lower for those really cheap poor little ones that can't handle much at all. Straighteners are my favorite tool because I feel like you can do anything and everything with them. However, I do recommend getting one of these. This is a heat safe, hot safe glove. So I just put that on and use my hand quite actively when styling. And that is because plastic fibers hold onto the heat for quite some time, and you're very likely to burn your fingers, especially if you aren't used to handling hot things when you first start styling. Alright, I'm just gonna jump straight into showing you what to do. So this here is a little beautiful ringlet I have curled for you to show exactly what's going on. I might pin the wig back a little bit here so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better with this one single strand. Yeah, there we go, rotating it a bit. So when it comes to straightening, you act like you would with your own normal hair. So if you've straightened your hair before, you know what you're doing. If not, just start at the top. And I like sectioning out hair so it's not too much. And then you just place the thongs on the hair, much like this, and slowly work your way down. You can pull on it on the end, or you can hold it as it's coming out. That's a personal preference. But I recommend guiding a little bit with your own hand, and this is where the hot-proof glove comes in handy. And there we go, now you can see it's much straighter already. So great for that. Now, when it comes to curling, I'm going to show you that on this very same strand that we just straightened, because why not? Again, I recommend the heating glove, and there are different ways to go about curling. One is using a curling iron. You can use the curlers. You can also use the straightening iron. The only thing to keep in mind is that since the plastic keeps the heat and retains the heat for quite some time after you've applied it, you're gonna want to hold the wig hairs, the wig fibers, in the shape you want them to be until it's completely cooled and set. If not, it's just not gonna hold and it's gonna fall straight out. So if I apply heat and then try to curl it and then let it go, you barely have a shape at all. Yeah, there's a tiny bit, but not much. So what you're gonna do instead, apply even heat, and then you curl it into the shape you want. So again, this is again where heat-safe gloves come in handy. There we go, we'll curl it to up here because you can't really see that much farther anyway. And then you're just gonna keep it in place till it's cooled. You can do that by holding, or you can use clips and then work on other fibers if you want a whole curly wig. I'm just gonna apply one of these clips and I'll be back once it's cooled. And there you go, that's the one I curled just now. It's been maybe 5 minutes, not even, and you can tell it's pretty little ringlet. And obviously this would change impact and size depending on how tightly you curl it, or if you use curlers, how big or small you use them. You can even use tiny little ones and roll it up, and you will get that, like, depending on the effect you want. But yeah, that's just one way of doing a curl with a straightener. So if you don't have any tools at all and want one, I do recommend starting out with a straightener. So yeah, I think that's about it. Heat styling your wigs can be very fun, but it can also be intimidating. Start small and start with a colder temperature than you think you might need. If you don't know how much your wig can handle, so like if you have a wig and you can't find the listing for it, start with the strand in the back and work your way up so you can see how much heat it can handle. Because the strand in the back, even if you have to cut it away, most likely people aren't going to notice. It's only you that know about it. So yeah, just experiment and start slow and work your way up. Anyway, I hope that was useful, or maybe you learned something, and if not, well, thanks for watching, and here's to the next one.